Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be taking you through a Warcry battle report between the Darkoath Savages and the Gitz Shroom Sniffers. The Darkoath Savages have mustered a 1,000-point warband led by the Slaughterborn with Great Blade, and he's going to be backed up by the sinister Godspeaker. This brutal looking warband are armed with spears, axes, claws, swords and shields, and are ready to do battle against the Gloomspite Gitz Shroom Sniffers. These sneaky customers are led by Gobsnick Shroom Sniffer and his snivelling assistant Give Longears and his squigs. And with a warband of just under 1,000 points, they're ready to go. Gobsnick Shroom Sniffer heard of a strange happening in the realm of Ghur, and he's led his warband to the fringes of the Gnarlwood. Amongst some rocky tors, the squigs sniffed out some mushrooms, and so they've headed to the area to see what they can find. But they happen upon a Darkoath Savages camp and have to take them by surprise if they're to take home these fungal fancies. Squigs are not the sneakiest of beasts, and with mushrooms on their mind, they soon rouse the Darkoath Savages from their campside sleep. That can only mean one thing: it's time for battle. The Darkoath Savages will be using the red Chaos dice, and the Shroom Sniffers will be using the green Destruction dice. The Slaughterborn divides his warband into the different battle groups. In the hammer, from left to right, we've got the Wrath-Touched, the Slaughterborn with Great Blade, the Godspeaker, and the Proven with Great Blade. In the shield, there's 3 Glory Seekers with shields, and they swap their swords for axes here. And from left to right in the dagger, we've got the Glory Seeker with paired weapons, the Proven with Great Axe, and the Glory Seeker with spear and axe. The Shroom Sniffers have split up to ambush the camp, and starting from left to right, we've got 2 squigs, Glubble and Glabble, their squig herder Give Longears, and the leader Gobsnick Shroom Sniffer. And in the shield, we've got Glug Mooneye the shooter, Grark Neckstabber the netter, and Gripe Eye Poker another shooter. And finally, in the hammer, we've got 2 more squigs, Globble and Glibble, and their squig herder, Gorg Toerag. The terrain is homemade and made to represent the tors and rocky hills that they're going to be battling in. And each of these is going to represent 1 inch in height, and there's going to be lots of opportunity to leap across the open gaps, and there's room to take cover and move in and amongst all the different hills and heights. The foliage all around the battlefield is out of bounds, and the battlefield is the usual size, 22 inch by 30 inch. The deployment card is Hold Out, and the Darkoath Savages will be taking the red deployment points, and the Shroom Sniffers will be taking the blue deployment points. Here we've got the red hammer bang in the centre of the battlefield. Down in the bottom right, we've got the blue shield, and finally, at the top right in the middle, we've got the blue dagger. The red shield will come into play at the beginning of round 2, and the blue hammer and the red dagger will come into play in round 3. With the deployment points laid out, now let's look at the victory card. The victory card is Burn and Pillage, but we're going to mix things up a bit. The Gitz are pretty sneaky. This is going to be called Sniff and Munch. Leave naught but ashes, we're going to change that. Leave naught but spores, blowing upon the bitter winds of war. And starting with the player who won the priority role, players alternate placing objectives until they have each placed 3 objectives each. Each objective can be placed anywhere on the battlefield, more than 4 inches from the battlefield edge, and any other objectives. A player can choose to eat an objective they control at the end of a battle round, and to do so, remove it from play. The first player to eat 4 objectives wins the battle, and these objective markers are going to be these mushroom tokens that you can see here. Both sides roll off, and a 2, terrible start, and a 6 for the Darkoath Savages, and the Darkoath Savages take priority, and they get to place the first mushroom token on the battlefield, and right away they're going to place it right in the middle next to their hammer deployment point. Both sides continue to place the tokens until all 6 are on the table, just measuring to make sure they're 4 inches away from the table edge and also 4 inches away from each other, strategically placing them near those deployment points. There's always a twist, and in today's battle it's the Dawn twist, and here no ability or attack action can be used to target an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away in the first battle round, 6 inches away in the second battle round, 9 inches away in the third battle round, and 12 inches away in subsequent battle rounds. This plays into the idea that the shroom sniffers are invading this camp just in the early hours, so it's still a little bit dark, but as it gets lighter, everyone can be a little bit more accurate with their ranged attacks. Now it's time to deploy the fighters, and the Darkoath savages go first, and as daggers go first, they can't put any on the battlefield, so they'll put in reserve ready to come on in round 3. The shroom sniffers place their dagger on the board. Then it's the turn of the shield, so the Darkoath savages will come on in round 2. The shroom sniffers place their shield 6 inches and 8 inches away from the battlefield edge in the bottom right hand corner. And finally, the hammers deploy, and the Darkoath savages make sure they're wholly within 3 inches of their deployment point in the centre of the battlefield. That just leaves the shroom sniffer's hammer coming in on round 3. With both warbands deployed, it's time to get started and let the battle begin, so let's get stuck in with round 1. It's the round 1 hero phase, and it's a decent roll to get started with. We've got 2 doubles and 2 singles for the Darkoath. Now let's have a look what the shroom sniffers can do, and it looks like they're going to get 1 double and 4 singles. The shroom sniffers take their wild dice for this turn, and they're going to turn that 6 single into a double 6. The Darkoath are going to use their wild dice to make that double 6 a triple 6. And with those 3 singles, the shroom sniffers are going to go first, and straight away one of the squigs is going to come bounding in. I don't know if this is Glubble or Glibble, but let's find out. It looks like it's Glubble, and in he comes, and he's going to get within engagement range of one of the Darkoaths, the Proven with Great Blade. And he's going straight in with a double. It's going to be the Onslaught ability to add 1 to the attack. He can now roll 5 dice, strength 5 against toughness 3, so he's looking for 3s to hit, and that's 2 hits, so not the best roll, but still a little bit of damage which gets added on to the Proven with Great Blade, and that ends the first activation for Glubble. The Darkoath retaliate with the Wrath Touch, who moves right in to make an attack on Glubble there. This will be 4 attacks, strength 4 against toughness 4, so 4s to hit. It's a crit, a great start, 1 crit and 1 hit. And this guy's pretty tough, so he's going to deal 6 points of damage to Glubble. And a pretty decent first activation there. Now it's on to the shroom sniffers, and the second squig's going to come bounded in. 4-inch movement, gets him within engagement range of that Wrath Touched, and he's going to make an attack. And he's straight onto the abilities as well. What's he going to go for? He's going for the Backstabbing Mob. He can add 1 to the attack and strength characteristic now because he's close to that other squig. That's now 5 attacks, strength 6 against toughness 4. He needs 3s to hit, so that's 1 miss, but that's 3 hits and a crit. That's a really good result. But it's not quite enough to take out the Wrath Touched. He takes 10 wounds, he's got 2 left, and that ends the activation for Glabble. Or is it Glubble? Determined to protect the Godspeaker, the Great Blade turns and takes on one of the squigs. That's 3 attacks, strength 4 against toughness 4, and he gets 2 hits. That's going to deal 4 points of damage, but he's going to take 1 more attack because he was already within engagement range, and now he gets another hit and a crit. Altogether, that puts 10 points onto the squig. He's already had 6, so he's out. The first casualty of the battle is the squig. The Proven's got to be happy with that, getting the first kill of the game. Gobsnick can only think about mushrooms at this point. He's distracted them with the squigs. Now it's time to steam in and eat one of those mushrooms that you can see. So he takes his double movement with 8 inches, drops down and lands straight on the shroom. A quick activation, that one, and now the Slaughterborn is getting the same idea. Double movement, grabs a face full of shrooms and ends his activation. What are these sneaky gits up to? Let's see what the next Shroom Sniffer does, and he's measuring for a double move. Looks like that netter can make it. He's only got an inch to climb up that little rock face there, so with a double movement, up he goes, and he claims that mushroom objective for his own and ends his activation. You've got to watch out for this God Speaker, and she's been a bit sneaky too, going around, getting some height advantage there, and there could be some spells on the way here, but she's got to be 3 inches away to be able to use it. She was super sneaky there, and with that eyeball in hand, she's managed to get exactly 3 inches away, which means she can use that triple to make a Curse of Withering. She can roll 6 dice here, and a 4 to 5 is going to subtract 1 from the toughness characteristic of the squig, but a 6 is going to do it until the end of the battle. So he's going to lose 2 from the toughness until the end of the round, or 3, sorry, till the end of the round, and 1 until the end of the battle. So let's put that on the Glabble, the squig's card there. So that's 1 for the entire battle now, so his toughness is down to 3. But for this round, his toughness is down to 1. And after weakening him with that curse, she still has 1 attack to make, and she's got that 3-inch range. So she rolls 2 dice. It looks like there's 2 hits here. One's a crit, one's a normal hit. That's going to put quite a bit of damage. That's 9 points of damage altogether. And that ends her activation as she chuckles away to herself. Got to be pleased with that little sneaky move there. The twist is really making these 2 shooters a little bit redundant at the moment, but they're still going to be able to grab that mushroom as long as they can be within 3 inches of it. So let's see what they get up to here as one of them makes a move, and he's just going to keep a little bit away from the main battle that seems to be going on, but he's going to make sure he gets that mushroom for his own. With no Darkoaths left to activate, they both use their movement up, and then that leaves this guy. This is Give Long Ears the Squig Herder, and he eyes a prime target there, sneaking up behind the God Speaker. That's not a good angle for the God Speaker, and this one's going to be painful if he can pull it off. Let's have a look. As he rolls the dice, he's going to be attacking here with a crit and a hit. That was Strength 3 against Toughness 3, but his damage output is not great, so he's only going to be putting 3 points of damage onto the God Speaker, but he certainly got her attention. And that brings us to the end of round 1. And with only 1 casualty so far, that's Glubble taken out of the battle. The Darkoaths are doing pretty good, but it's all to do with these mushroom tokens. So let's see who's got the most tokens and who managed to munch the most mushrooms during this round. And totaling up, we can see Shroom Sniffer got 3, and the Darkoaths managed to secure 1 at the top, and a nice easy objective here down at the bottom, making it 3 mushrooms to 2 to Gobsnick, who only needs 1 more mushroom to win this battle. But the Darkoaths still have their shield to come into play in round 2, and this is definitely going to mix things up. So let's get stuck into the battle and see what round 2 brings. It's the round 2 hero phase, and the Darkoaths go first. They got a double, a triple, and a single. The Shroom Sniffers roll for their hero phase, and they're going to get a double, another double, and 2 singles. The Darkoaths aren't too interested in getting that first activation, so straight away make that single into a double. The Shroom Sniffers take their wild dice and make their double 5 a triple 5. Those 2 singles give them the priority, so they'll make the first activation in round 2. But before we do that, we have to bring in the reserves, and in come the shield for the Darkoaths, who are going to be wholly within 3 inches of the battlefield edge, making sure they're within the half as shown on the card holdout that we saw earlier on. With all those wounds, Glubble's pretty angry and is going straight into an attack on the Wrath Touched. And so he's going to roll those 4 dice, Strength 5 against Toughness 4, he needs 3s to hit, and that's 3 hits and 1 miss. And with a total of 6 hits going on to that previous 10, that makes it 16, and the Wrath Touched is out of the battle, he's been taken out, but Glubble is not finished yet. He's going to use that triple for respite, and now he's more than 1 inch away from an enemy fighter. He can use that, and that's going to heal 5 wounds. He's also got one action left, and he's going to use that to move. Can't quite make that ledge there, so he's going to jump to the lower ledge with a 4-inch move. Yeah, not quite enough. He'll jump to that lower one instead, and that lend is activation, so pretty happy he's got a kill, the first one for the Shroom Sniffers. Take those wounds with you as well. The God Speaker activates next, and she's not having that anymore, so moves away with a disengage move up to 3 inches, takes the wounds with her, and now she's in a position to cast another curse maybe. And she's eyeing up Glabble there, and she's within range now. She can go up to 6 inches in round 2. Don't forget he's lost that 1 toughness, so that brings his toughness down to 3, and with the strength 3 for the God Speaker, she needs 3s to hit, but she gets a crit, so straight in with a bit of extra damage there for Glabble, and a good job he took that respite, because now he's took another 6 points of damage. The God Speaker's not done yet though. She's going to use a double Visions of Glory, and she can roll 6 dice here now, and for every 5 to 6 she rolls, she can gain 1 additional wild dice that can be used from the start of the next round. And she's got lots here. That's 3 extra wild dice that can be used in round 3 onwards. That's her activation over with, and now it's the turn of Gobsnick to activate for the Shroom Sniffers, and Gobsnick has got to get to that mushroom, or at least within range to stop these. Now there's 3 coming through that little tunnel, so if Gobsnick can use 2 movement actions, he can block it, and they're going to have to fight him or go around him. With 2 moves of 4 inches each, it wasn't enough, so he's going to use a double to use the Rush Universal ability, adding 1 move characteristic until the end of his turn. That 10-inch total will be able to block that little walkway there, and it's going to make it more difficult for them to get to the mushroom. With that movement from the God Speaker earlier on, the Proven with Great Blade can now have a go at the Squig Herder. So he moves up, takes his hits with him, and starts to deal out some pain. Surely he can take out a tiny Squig Herder with a toughness 3 against his strength 3, and that's a terrible roll. But he does get 1 hit, so it is going to be a little bit of damage going on to give Long Ears. But it's only 2 points, so he can certainly handle that and survives till the next round. Time for the shooters to start getting a bit closer to the action now. So they're going to close down that distance with a double move, and then in the next round they'll be able to shoot up to 9 inches, so they're relying on that. The activation goes back to the Darkoaths, and it's the turn of the Slaughterborn to claim that mushroom. And now if he can hold this objective and get enough fighters around it, that's going to make it a draw. Back to the Shroom Sniffers, and the second shooter moves up to get in range for the next round. Got a Glory Seeker traffic jam here, and the one at the front makes an attack on Gobsnick. And this one's going to roll 2 dice, strength 4 against toughness 3, so 3s to hit here. And what a terrible roll. Nothing happened there, and that ends the activation for the first Glory Seeker with shield. The Netter's got a lot of distance to cover, so a double move ends the activation for the Netter. And now that leaves the 2 Glory Seekers with shield, who do a little bit of manoeuvring to get within 1 inch base to base with Gobsnick. And so these are 1 inch high, each of these rocks, and so base to base they can just make it. They're the same card, so they're attacking at the same time, and what an awful roll. Only 1 goes through and causes a hit. Gobsnick did well to keep the 2 Glory Seekers at bay, and only takes 1 point of damage. And with that last little scuffle over, that ends battle round number 2. And so we've got not much action going on with the shooters and Netter. They've got a lot of work to do to get back into it. The Slaughterborn managed to hold that objective thanks to the Glory Seeker, who just got millimeters in front of Gobsnick to put 2 fighters on it. This little guy couldn't get near it, the Squig was too far away, and although Gobsnick could hold off these 3 Glory Seekers, it just wasn't enough to stop them getting close enough to that mushroom. That takes the total to 3 mushrooms each, and after round 2, this would be a draw, but neither of these 2 warbands are happy with that and determined to fight on. After all, these mushrooms can't be digested yet. If they can get each other, rip their guts open, they could still get some more shrooms. Let's play on until the end of round 4, and whoever has the most mushrooms and the most kills combined will be the winner. It's round 3 in all to play for as we go into the hero phase. It's the Darkoaths who roll first, and they're going to get a double 6 and 4 singles. This is good if they want to get that first activation and take priority. Next, we've got the Gloom Sniffers, and they're going to roll their hero phase, and they get a double 5, a double 6, and 2 singles. The Darkoaths have priority, and look at all these wild dice. They've got 4 altogether. They're going to turn the double 6 into a triple 6. They're going to take the single 5 and turn it into a double 5. And then they're going to use another wild dice as a single to make sure they keep that priority. The Shroom Sniffers are going to take their single wild dice that they get for this round, and they're going to make their double 6 a triple 6. Let's get those reserves into the battle, and in round 3 the dagger is going to come on for the Darkoath, so wholly within 3 inches of that whole battlefield edge. They can go anywhere along, but they're going to bunch up here and push towards that big fight that's going on just above the Darkoath that you can see at the top of the screen. Now the hammer comes into play for the Shroom Sniffers, and they're going to move up as close as they can, but not in engagement range, but they're close enough so they could move and then make an attack in their next turn, or next activation, and then protect Gobsnick, who's surrounded at the moment by some pretty tough customers. With those 4 singles, the Darkoaths go first, and the Slaughterborn advances straight towards Gobsnick. Now this guy's pretty strong, making 5 attacks, strength 4, versus toughness 3, but he only gets 1 hit anyway. 4 ones? Who rolls that? And with just 3 points of damage, I think Gobsnick got a little bit lucky there. But the Slaughterborn's not done yet. Looks like he's going to move in and use an ability of some kind. And he chooses a triple Inspiring Present to bring someone else into the game, and they can activate. Now, he's a bit naughty here. This proven with spear and axe should have been within 6 inches of him, but he's done it. It's too late now, as that moves in with engagement rate of the squig, in the hope that it won't disengage and move on to a different target. He probably should have thought about taking out this squig, because now they activate and move in right behind him within range to make an attack. I think the Godspeaker should have activated previously. The squig uses a double for onslaught, gets an extra 1 to the attack, and although he's still got that -1 on the toughness, his strength is still 5, and now it's 5 attacks going against toughness 4. He needs 3s. He's got 4 though, so that's pretty good. 4 hits, but no crits. That's still going to put a decent 8 points of damage onto the Slaughterborn and ends the activation for the squig. A little bit too late, but she activates now. The Godspeaker's going to make a leap and surprisingly gets across it. She doesn't look like she could be that agile, but made 4 inches, no problem. That puts her well in range of her 7 inches, so she can attack one of the shooters. And now she's going to roll strength 3 against toughness 3. She needs 4s and gets 2 5s, so that's a nice bit of damage. That's going to be 6 points of damage going on to the shooter. The Godspeaker's having a pretty decent battle. She's done a few curses, some jumps and got some hits in, but now it's back to the squig, and this turn it's going to go into the Glory Seeker with shield, or one of them at least. This will be 4 attacks, strength 5, toughness 4. What's that? 2 1s and 2 2s? Absolutely nothing. A terrible attack. Not great, and now we've got a Glory Seeker with paired weapons eyeing up the Squig Herder, and they've moved into position now, getting within engagement range with a double move, so in the next turn it's all going to be unleashed. The shooter in the top right is within range of the Proven with Great Axe, and although it's reduced to 9, he can still hit, and so he takes 2 shots, he gets a crit. That's a really good start. 2 more and nothing, so 1 crit. At least that's a little bit of damage going on to the Proven with Great Axe. Only 3 points though. That got her a little bit worked up as she does a double move to get within engagement range of the shooter, and then that's going to punish him in the next round. It's also going to take away his ability to shoot, so she certainly is protecting the Godspeaker and her Slaughterborn with that movement. Gobsnick's been surprisingly calm with all these Glory Seekers around him, but he's going to take a shot at the middle one, and so he's going to roll 3 dice because he's within engagement range here, and that's great, a crit and a hit. 1 miss, but that's not bad at all. And he does get another attack action, so that's going to be another 3 dice, and not so good this time, 3 misses, but with 1 hit and 1 crit, that's going to be 5 points of damage going on to the Glory Seeker with shield. Gobsnick is going to balance things out with the Inspiring Presence ability, and they're going to activate someone who's more than 6 inches away from them. And this time it's going to be the Squig Herder, Give Longears, giving him a chance to have a go back at that Proven with Great Blade. But instead of getting stuck in, he chooses to disengage up to 3 inches, and then is going to make another movement, heading after that Godspeaker. He's really got it in for her. He's got himself right in that position behind her again, and I don't think she's seen him. She's holding that eye in the completely wrong direction. The Proven with Great Blade is going to take 2 movements and head down to help out the Proven with Great Axe to shut down these shooters and cut off that netter. But that netter is not having any of it and is going straight in for the attack. Now, he's not going to do it much here, I don't imagine. He doesn't have a lot going for him. It's 3 attacks. Strength 3 against Toughness 4. He does get a crit though, and he does have 1 more attack, so let's see what he can do with it. Another crit and 2 hits. This has got to be good, but not as good as we might think, because that's only 6 points of damage. Back to the Darkoaths, and this Glory Seeker with shield is fending off one of the squigs and is going to make an attack. This is Strength 4, Toughness 4, 2 attacks, and that's going to be 1 hit. And he gets another attack, and that's 2 hits, so that's going to be 3 hits in total, dealing 3 points of damage and ending the activation. Not a great turn, that one. This shooter is going to move up 2 inches and across 1 inch and another inch to get in good range of the Godspeaker. And he's going to take a shot. There's 2 shots, Strength 3 against Toughness 3, and he gets 1 hit. So that 5 gets a hit, but it's only going to be 1 point of damage onto the Godspeaker. Not too much damage, but he's well positioned for the next round. Now we're back to this side of the battle, and we've got 1 more Glory Seeker with shield who's going to make an attack onto Gobsnick. This will be 2 attacks, Strength 4, Toughness 3, so 3's to hit, that's 2 hits, and 1 more attack action gets another hit. But again, it's only going to be 3 points of damage, and I think Gobsnick is going to stay in the game here. But what's this? Here's some more attacks coming in from the other Glory Seeker with shield, and then in total that's going to be 1 crit and 4 hits. Altogether, that's another 7 points of damage, taking that from 4 to 11. So Gobsnick is still hanging in there with a total of 16 wounds, still got 5 to come off. That ends the activation for those 2 Glory Seekers with shield. So that's a little bit out of order. They jumped ahead and both went at the same time when there's still a Gloomspite to go. And here we go, it's another Squig Herder who's going to make an attack against one of the Glory Seekers here. Now it's Strength 3 against Toughness 3. This one isn't as tough as the other Darkoaths. It takes 3 hits, so that's 3 points of damage. 2 more, that's 5 points of damage altogether. So lots of attacks, but not too many fighters taken out. And that brings us to the end of round 3. So we're going into round 4 with a lot going on. There's a lot of injuries here, a lot of points taken. And so I'm sure in round 4, we've got to see a lot more casualties. But it's certainly a very close battle. And so far, it's 3 mushrooms each and 1 casualty each. So that's 4 points. It's still a tie. So let's not muck around. Let's go and dive in to round 4. And let's see if we can get a winner here. The Shroom Sniffers hero phase, they get double 6 and 4 singles. This is going to be very important to get that priority. The Darkoaths roll and they get a triple 2 and 3 singles. So pretty close this. The Shroom Sniffers get their 1 wild dice and they're going to guarantee priority by making another single. So with 5 singles, they're going to take priority. There's nothing the Darkoaths can do. So they're going to take their wild dice for the round, and then they're going to make 1 of those into a double. So they're going for a double 6. They're going to keep the triple 2 and make that 4 a double 4. Glabble the Squig with 10 wounds knows he's got to do something because he could be taken out quite easily. So he's going to take that double, go for Onslaught, add 1 to his attacks characteristic for the whole activation. He's got 2 attacks now going on to the Slaughterborn. And this first roll is a monster. 3 hits and a crit. And he's got 1 more attack action to go. So let's roll another 5 dice and see what he gets. And it's another crit. And it's going to be 2 more hits. So with 5 hits and 2 crits, is this enough to take out the Slaughterborn? Yes, it is. 18 points altogether, going on to that already existing, 8 points. So yes, this squig really done some damage, taken out the leader. Oops, someone forgot to take away the activation tokens from the last round, so let's get rid of all those, but make sure we leave Glabbles in place. That's better. Now the Darkoaths really need some victims, so the Proven with Great Axe is going to try and take out that shooter, and surely she's going to do it. She's a beast. She's got to. Only one hit there, though, but another attack because she was already within engagement range, and so 2 more dice to roll. But she doesn't need them. That one attack took him out quite easily, so they really needed that one to even things up. And with her next action, she decides to tie up this second shooter with a 4-inch movement and stop him from having a ranged attack on any of her other members of the warband. With that Slaughterborn taken out, Gobsnick can just focus on these Glory Seekers now, and he's done a great job so far. And look at this, a crit, that's going to put some damage on one of them straight away, and he's got one other attack action that he's going to use, so 3 more dice, and this is great. One hit, just one hit, because the toughness is pretty good against his 3. His strength is 3, their toughness is 4, but still, one crit and one hit is enough to deal 5 damage, and with only 10 wounds, that's out. That's one more fighter gone, and things are really looking good for the shroom sniffers now. With 8 wounds, the Proven with Great Blade feels like he should really do something here and take out an easy netter. So with an attack of 3, strength 4 against toughness 3, he should do some damage. He only needs 3s to hit, and there's 2 hits. He gets 2 actions, so another attack. That's another hit. Not the best roll, but still, that's going to be 6 points of damage going on to the netter, but that's not enough to take him out. He's got 8, but what's this? They've only put 3 on there, so we do need to put another 3 points of damage on that one. Here he comes, the Squig Herder, sneaking up on the God Speaker again. She's not having much luck with this guy. And with a sneaky stab there, he only gets 1 hit, so he's only going to do 1 point of damage. So just chipping away at her, breaking her down a little bit, but keeping her in engagement range so she can't use her ranged weapons. Still looking for easy kills, the Glory Seeker with paired weapons goes up against the Squig Herder, and they're going to make a number of attacks here. 2 attacks, 1 hit, but they get 2 attack actions, and that's going to be 3 hits altogether. And although it's 6 points of damage, it's not enough to take all 8 wounds away. Time for the Squig to get stuck in and prevent this Glory Seeker from attacking Gobsnick. They don't have many wounds left, so got to protect Gobsnick here. And with 3 rolls, oh no, it's not great. Only 1 hit, but they do get 1 more action, so it's going to be another attack and another 2 hits. That's 3 hits altogether, and that's going to put 6 points of damage onto the Glory Seeker with shield. Now the Glory Seeker with Spear and Axe is taking on the Blue Squig, and it's going to be pretty tough to do some damage here. And so with a roll of 2 attacks, that's going to be 1 hit. Another one, 2 twos fail. That's only 1 point of damage. It was certainly a big ask, but worth a try. The netter smells weakness, and if he can take 4 points off this Proven with Great Blade, he can take him out. Let's see what he gets. Nothing. He gets another attack. And nothing again, so not very good at all. One of the Glory Seekers with shield spies Globsnick, getting a little bit tired now, taking a few hits during the game, but with a roll like that, they're not going to do much more damage. 1 more attack, that's a bit better. Now that's 2 points of damage going on to Gobsnick, but still not enough to take them out. They're really hanging in there. Rather than disengaging and taking a shot at another fighter, this shooter's going to get stuck right in and have a go at the Proven with Great Axe. So it's 3 attacks up close. It's strength 3 against toughness 4. But look at that, a crit and a hit. And with 1 more attack, no, fails that time. But with a hit and a crit, it's still a little bit of damage to put on to the Proven with Great Axe. Okay, she's had enough. She's turning to face this Squig Herder, and she's going to deal some serious punishment now. He's just been winding her up all game. So she makes an attack, and that's a good one. That's 3 hits. And because she's in engagement range, she can use another attack action. That's a great roll. 1 crit, 2 hits. He's really going to suffer for what he's been up to. And with exactly 8 points, that's going to take him out of the game. He's out of the battle and done for. This game is really close. It's 3 mushrooms each, it's 3 victims each, so there's loads to play for as we continue with round 4. It's squig time again, as this blue squig goes into the Glory Seeker with spear and axe. 4 attack, strength 5 against toughness 4, 3 wounds is really good, 1 more attack action coming up, and that's a great roll. Look at this, 2 hits and 2 crits. That is going to destroy the Glory Seeker. That squig really went to town on them with 18 wounds. That's going to take them right out of the game. They only had 10, so that was really good. We've got another Glory Seeker with shield who's determined to take out Gobsnick, but can they do it in their last activation? Let's find out. With 2 attack actions, they've got a chance, and with that roll, that's going to be 2 hits. They've made a little bit of headway. What's the next roll going to bring? 2 crits? That is going to take Gobsnick out for sure. Yeah, with all those wounds, Gobsnick's out, and he's done such a great job holding them off throughout the battle, but it was just too much in the end. This is way too close. 3 mushrooms each, 4 victims each. We've only got 1 activation to go, and that's for the Shroom Sniffers. So let's see if this Shroom Sniffer can save the day and take out this Glory Seeker with paired weapons. It could do it. It's on 5 wounds with a total of 10. It's just way too close. But the Squig Herder is strength 3, but the Glory Seeker with paired weapons is only toughness 3. So they need 4s, and they got 2 5s. That's 2 hits. They got 1 more attack action, the final one of the whole battle, and it's a hit and a crit. I think this is enough. They've got 1, 2, 3. They've got 5 hits altogether, and that's going to be enough to take out the Glory Seeker with paired weapons. And taking that final victim out wins the game for the Shroom Sniffers. What a close game, and with 3 mushrooms each, it would have been a draw after round 2, but we couldn't leave it there, and so had to carry on, and those 5 victims against 4 made it a victory for the Shroom Sniffers. The Darkoaths are kicking themselves a little bit though, because in all the excitement, they completely forgot to use their abilities. But they cut through the bushes and made their escape to fight another day. A great victory for the Shroom Sniffers in their debut battle here on the channel, and you'll be seeing a lot more of these as they venture through the realm of Ghur. But right now it's barbecue time for the Shroom Sniffers, who've completely taken over the campfire, and this guy looks pretty happy about it. I hope you enjoyed the battle report, and I'll be doing a battle report every week here on the channel, not just for Warcry, but for 40k and Weekend Warriors as well. And I've also got some more planned for Brutality, where we're going to look at the solo games and also some of the expansions. So lots of exciting battle reports to come for lots of skirmish games and 40k as well. If you liked any of the models that you see here on the channel, then check out the links to Element Games and Wayland Games in the description, and they'll take you to their websites where you can pick them up, save yourself up to 20%, and if you buy through those links, I get a small commission, which helps me continue with my daily videos. So thanks so much, that support is awesome, and it really helps me to keep going with these. So thanks for watching, please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.